All right, guys. God bless you guys, and welcome to This Is It. Okay, let's just nail some things down here. This is very important. There's something very, very strange going on over at the Gene Revel channel. I don't go there. I don't participate. I've seen this for over a decade. I've done probably over 4,000 videos. And during that time, you'll see people pop up that are just haters. They just hate Jonathan Kleck, and that's okay. But this group of people has taken it too far. They're inciting violence. They are saying things publicly that are very dangerous things to be saying. That could mean other people's well-being being compromised. So I'm going to document this. First, I want to show you where this is coming from. This is coming from a channel called Gene Revel, and he's got 311 videos, and probably 309 of them are probably all about me. It's crazy. We did a little compilation. You need to see it. He has another channel called The Jonathan Kleck. I had a channel called The Jonathan Kleck, and because of some of the content during COVID, my channel was targeted and taken down. I had over 100 million views, over 100 million views, close to 200,000 subs. And then subsequently after that, I was posting some stuff on Corey's channel, and there were some issues again with some of the content, and a lot of it was over medical quote misinformation. So anyway, so I've been posting stuff on Zach's channel for a while. Even though I'm on several other platforms, I come to YouTube because I know there's a group of people on YouTube that they're just YouTube people. So anyway, I try and stay in touch through Zach's channel, even though I'm on all kinds of other platforms. Now, this person needs to be assessed, and then we're going to assess some comments. And then I'm going to show you some things that I did just as a safety measure, because I see where these people may be going with their lunacy. But we need to establish a record right now. So here is The Jonathan Kleck. He's making fun of me. They call me JJ, the people that he's inciting to violence at his channel. JJ is a derogatory nickname for me. And that's one channel called The Jonathan Kleck, and then there's this other channel called Gene Revel. Now, here's the thing. I'm going to show you guys a little video, and I want you guys to pay very close attention. This is just a short little slice of what's going on this channel. Let's just have a look. I'm going to pause for one moment. So I want you to understand, the whole channel is so focused on me in a derogatory, defamatory, libelous and slanderous way that it's kind of mind-boggling. Actually, I was amused at first. I thought it was pretty funny. But now with seeing some of the comments talking about guns and weapons and people's actions, that it needs to be addressed right now, so law enforcement can look at the right side of the story. This has gone to a point that it's ridiculous. So this is Gene Revel's channel. These are little clips out of just a few videos, and here it is.
Ah, what a beautiful moon on the 5th of May in the year 2023. Oh, come on in, moon. That is a pretty full moon. Beautiful, beautiful night. Starry night. I don't think you're gonna like what you're about to receive, Jonathan. It's gonna prove you're a hypocrite. It's most certainly gonna prove you're a false prophet. That's for sure. The Mayan cat.
I'm going to pause that there for 1 sec. Okay, just making sure that this whole thing is recording. Let me go back because I couldn't really see the screen. So let me go back. So I'm going to play it, guys. I'm sorry. I'm going to play it one more time. I want you just to look at what the content of this person's videos are. This guy is deranged, obsessed. Pardon me. And then he does, you know, this is common for his videos, the way he's talking. He's deranged and he's obsessed. But what's more disturbing is what's going on with some of the people that are following this person and backing this person up. So here we go. Let's do it one more time. We'll take it back from the beginning. So if you'll notice, the thing is, he always mentions JJ, like him being derogatory. In every single video title, it's either Jonathan Kleck or What's Wrong JJ or something, you know, just derogatory and hateful. That's the point. So let's try this again. Let me get it going, and here we go.
Ah, what a beautiful moon on the 5th of May in the year 2023. Oh, come on in, moon. That is a pretty full moon. Beautiful, beautiful night. Starry night. I don't think you're gonna like what you're about to receive, Jonathan. It's gonna prove you're a hypocrite. It's most certainly gonna prove you're a false prophet. That's for sure. The Mayan calendar flop. The Hoover Dam. Oh man. That was a joke. So many things. Yeah, I lined a few of them up. Put them in a video this evening since, you know, you're calling me out and everything. Nothing like being called out before you get heard out. You never once said any of the words that I've spoken. You've only butchered my thumbnails that I use, but that's cool. Because whenever my words do come out, Johnny, the people are going to be able to make up their own minds as to what my intentions were. They'll see. So let my words out. You're the one that's holding my words in, for goodness sakes. That says something in itself right there. James, I mean, you didn't pay squat attention to him for however many years. He puts out one video that you don't like and you're on him for days and days. I put in hours upon hours and you hide it. Why? What are you afraid of? I know exactly what you're afraid of. A lot of other people do too, but you're afraid of being... Oh, there's the moon. Oh. You're afraid of being found out. You and Zach and Corey and Kat. I mean, I've got files in my hard drive that go way back. Things that I should have brought out by now. It's just I'm lazy sometimes. So you should, consider yourself... Oh, that almost looks like Krusty the Clown there for a second. With his moon as a nose. I wonder if that's God telling me something. Yeah. And those diffraction spikes at your Night Under the Stars fake attempt of... So many things, JJ, we need to still discuss. Exposure. Boy, light exposure on your camera. Ain't that something? Alright, I'll leave it at that. I'll just leave it at the video I'm going to post later tonight. It's going to show your most hypocritical side. Plus, it's going to prove you're a false prophet. What do you think, JJ? Give this video a thumbs up.
Okay. In that very twisted, mentally ill video, he said, I don't think you're going to like what's about to happen. Let me show you something very odd. Here's Karen and Kathy. Now, Karen Sullivan is the lady that I laid hands on. She had terminal cancer. She got well very quickly. But then the Lord, after several years of the ark and some things that happened there, like several times in the Bible, you hear the Lord say he's withdrawing his blessings. And he already has. Let me show you something. This is something Karen Sullivan wrote. She said, do you realize common knowledge? Clark said the Lord instructed him that when people turn, they won't be human anymore, and it's okay to shoot them. You understand that I am depicted as one of those, one that is turned. Okay, this is a delusional person. She's misconstruing completely what the Bible that I've talked about and what it is about if the pit opens up. But let's continue. Watch this. You understand that I am depicted as one that is turned. Go ahead and incite as many unstable click followers as you like. Let's see how that turns out, shall we? Who is going to carry it out? You, Alex, Zach, Corey, Ryan? Are you going to do it with the guns that Jim gave everybody in the inner circle at Kleck's request? That is so fascinating. I did a video. It's on the Kleck files. The people that lived at the Ark saved Dave the Wave. Dave was the only person that was living there that, at my request, but it was so he could help with IT stuff, because the Ark was all Jim Sullivan's thing. And Karen, I had only thing I had to do with it was on YouTube. I gave people my blessing. I said I think it would be a good thing to support, because he had quit growing weed, and he had an FFL. So when I met him, he was a felon growing weed with an FFL. Jim was. Karen knew about it. Kathy knew about it. I said, I can't let people donate to, because Jim had a spiritual conversion, and his wife was, I'd laid hands on his wife, and they were, we're turning our lives over to Christ. We want people to come live in we have this dilapidated property out in the woods that we're willing to put up. And then they showed me that, or Jim showed me he was growing weed in the building, and I said, I can't let people come here and be part of this. I can't. If you quit growing weed and all that, then let me know. And he did. He stopped it. And so because I'm willing to give anyone a chance if they've turned their life over to Christ, I was like, okay, you want to give your property so people can come live here? That's noble. So I went on YouTube. Everything's recorded. There's records of everything. I said, you know what? I'm going to give him the first $5,000. He went out and bought fencing with it to secure a perimeter. I was like, what's he doing with the money? I gave him $5,000 and he goes and buys all this fencing? I was just like, what? It didn't make any sense to me at all. But he was receiving other donations because I had said, look, he wants to bring people in, give people that don't have anywhere to go a place to live, call it the Ark. They had a place in Beach City that belonged to the mother-in-law, Edith. They were letting people, they had moved people in from different states, and I was helping pay to get those people there so they could start this thing. It was going to be a community. Great. But here's the thing. When I met Jim, the first day I met him, he gave me a gun. That was a gift. I only had a pellet gun at that point in my life. Jim had a shooting range. He had owned a gun store, and he was heavily stocked with parts for making ARs and other stuff from his gun store. Him and his wife had already burned through $3 million of inheritance, is what I was told. It's what Karen told me. They narcissistically spin it up on themselves and didn't have anything to show for it, but Karen was about to die. The Lord sent me over to lay hands on her. She recovered. Jim said he had his moment with God. He didn't even want to meet me. He was very opposed to meeting me, but Karen apparently had been watching my videos. Jack Lamb had called me, asked me to pray for this girl named Karen Sullivan, which I said, I hear the Lord telling me to go meet her because the Lord sent me to lay hands on her. Okay, now look what's going on here. This is very strange. There's a lunatic named Gene. He has a channel called Gene Rebel. Jim and Karen, who were basically, they had zero income coming in. They were in financial straits, opened their doors to people that had been following Jonathan Kleck on YouTube and other ministries, radio stuff I was doing out in the world. And I was willing to tell those people it's okay to give this guy money because he's opening his door for people, and he had quit growing weed as per my absolute, it was non-negotiable. During that time when I didn't have some inner circle there, he invited the people that showed up. So here they are misrepresenting. I'm like, why are they misrepresenting all this? Why are they saying these things? Let me show you this. Do you realize Inner Circle Common Knowledge Kleck said that the Lord instructed them that when people turn, they won't be human anymore and it's okay to shoot them. So this is a total fabrication. This is not at all what I said. You understand that I am depicted as one that is turned. Okay, that's just Karen and her. She's actually delusional. Go ahead and incite as many unstable Kleck followers as you like. Now I'm going to start right there. The whole channel she's at, that's all these people are doing. Go read all their comments. The Gene Rebel channel is to incite violence against me. That's all the whole channel is. Every video is about me. I don't watch the guy's videos. I've watched a little part of one a while back, and I started laughing. I was like, this poor guy, that's sad. I was like, but then I felt terrible for him. And the other day, some of this stuff is brought to my attention because people have been harvesting all this information, keeping an eye on this guy. And Karen and Kathy and Jim and Chuck, Kathy's husband, who's a former law enforcement. So let me show you something that's starting to play out here. They're saying, look, let's see how this turns out. Like I'm trying to incite people against them. That's insane. It's the other way around. Who is going to carry it out? You, Alex, Zach, Corey, Ryan? What are they talking about? Carry out what? Are you going to do it with the guns Jim, oh, here we go, Jim gave to everybody? in the inner circle at Kleck's request. Okay, now she's just fabricating things at Kleck's request. Jim owned a gun store. Him and his wife had all these parts for guns. Jim had armed his neighbors. He even mentioned, well, if something happens, civil unrest, I've given those guys guns, I've given those guys guns. I'm like, oh, okay. I can see if civil unrest happened, that wouldn't be a bad thing. You know, that the Great Tribulation started, and yeah, I'd like to have somebody near me that could protect me. That wouldn't be bad. Are you going to do it with the Jims gave to everybody in the inner circle at Kleck's request? That's not true at all. There is a video on Kleck Uncensored where I interviewed all the people he's talking about. I don't have some inner circle of people that were at the Ark. Or maybe the weapons Kleck purchased from Jim's private collection. Now, here's where things are going to get where I see these lunatics going. Can we agree that the video I showed you where the guy, the Gene Rebel channel, I don't know what his name is, but we're going to find out. All these pictures of me and all this just maligning, just evil hatred in the videos towards me. Did you hear his voice like while he's talking to the moon? Does he sound stable to you? Do you think a judge would give that guy a gun? Okay. Are you going to do it with the guns Jim gave to everybody in the inner circle at Kleck's request? See, she keeps saying that at Kleck's request. That is not true. I've already talked to those people. They've given their statements that that's false. So that's a false allegation. Or maybe the weapons Kleck purchased from Jim's private collection. Let's address that for a minute. So Jim and Karen were receiving this money. People were donating money. I was giving them money that was coming to me to help me with what I do in my ministry. I was giving them money just to help with everybody having a place to live. That's all I cared about, for people to have a place to live. And Jim and his wife, Karen, were complaining they didn't have enough personal cash, like the money was coming and it was just being used for everybody. I even said, you know what, I will pay all your bills, all your electrical, internet, whatever bills are out at the place in the country and at the place in Beach City. I do not want Jim and Karen Sullivan to incur one more bill. I knew they had no other source of income except the money they were receiving in donations. And I was donating to them, but I said, you know what, I'm not going to let these people be any burden at all to you. So the tenants there knew that I was stepping up to, well, they found out I was stepping up to do that. But then Karen Sullivan was complaining that she didn't have like any personal money, and Dave the Wave was going out to eat, and and she just, you know, and Dave the Wave's poor. I mean, these people are poor. Eric and Susie, they're poor. The money that they were getting from me is a pittance. I mean, they were glad to have a place to live, and I'd give them $300 here, $400 there, just enough to get their groceries, get what they need. And so Karen was complaining about that. And Jim, her husband, he had all these AR parts for, I didn't have a bunch of AR parts. Jim had a gun store. And Jim was like, hey, I can make you a 9mm on an AR platform, and, you know, it's like, just sell it to you for the cost of, you know, the materials and all that. And I'm like, he obviously needs personal cash. So I was like, oh, okay. I didn't even know what a 9mm was on an AR platform. I was like, okay, whatever. And so he made a 9mm gun, a 9mm AR, and then it had a pistol brace on it. So it was this was a pistol, but it had a brace that came out, and it made like the stock. And I was like, oh, wow, that's pretty cool. So I'd give him some money, and then he'd need money again, and it would be the same kind of, hey, I can make you this, and I got these leftover parts, and I knew he needed money. And so that was one of the things I would do for him to help him have personal money for him and his wife and his son. I would do the best I could to help everyone. That's just been my nature. Go ask anyone that's associated with my ministry. The people that know. Now things have gotten very weird and dangerous. Watch this. Are you going to do it with the guns Jim gave to everybody at the inner circle at Kleck's request, or maybe the weapons Kleck purchased from Jim's private collection? I'm like, why did you write private collection? He was making ARs. He was making them. And he had already previously, from what I've come to find out, he was trying to start like a prepper colony before I ever met these people. Like I said, the day I met Jim, he gave me an AR as a gift. That was his gift. Thank you for coming to meet my family. My wife's terminally ill. Here's an AR. And I was like, oh, well, thank you. That's nice. So anyway, so like I said, it wasn't me that was dealing and peddling and that kind of stuff. It was him. So what's really interesting is how they're trying to turn this around and flip it on other people. But here is the really part that's dangerous. Kat, you and I know as well as the inner circle. See how they keep the inner circle? There is way more to the story about what Kleck says, what to do when the switch is flipped, and what to do to the former humans that are scorpions. They're not human anymore, right? Okay, there are instruments of saying, right? Please elaborate. So here they are just throwing this stuff out here. I guess they're butchering the Bible. If you tell the truth, you'll have to admit that each of Kleck's inner circle have taken a vow to kill their brother if they're being taken away by the scorpions, I guess. Kleck has that agreement with those that live with him. He fears being taken and tortured. He'd rather be shot over being hauled off. Kleck called and held a meeting with the residents of the Ark and also Kleck's inner circle. Okay, again, I want to make a point. We already did a video where I contacted the people that were living at the Ark, that were given guns by Jim, who made them for them because of his fear of civil unrest. When the pit opens and the scorpions come out, let me help you out, like from a theological standpoint. It doesn't matter what gun you have. It's not going to help you at all. So that's insane. When the pit opens up and the scorpions in Revelation 9 come out of the pit, a gun's not going to help anything at all. They haven't read the Bible. Here it goes. He says, Kleck's inner circle. Let's see. Eric at our location agreed he would be the one to make sure the brother is dead and would be the last one standing. Corey had that responsibility at Kleck's home. Nobody was to be taken by whatever authority came after us because they were no longer human. This was not for discussion with anyone not in Kleck's inner circle. This discord that comments perpetuate have very real ramifications. So as I was reading this, I was like, why are they writing this weird crap? Yes, Jim made guns. He gave them to the people that were there. There were some that I bought for Jim. Jim gave me one as a gift the day I met the guy. He had a shooting range. It was his neighbors were armed by him. He had a gun store. And now he's trying to flip this weird script on me. And his wife is writing this inner circle stuff. And I'm like, inner circle? What the hell is she talking about? And now it's like whatever authorities. Well, Chuck, Kathy's is Karen's identical twin sister, Kathy. She's married to a guy named Chuck. He has threatened me in front of a witness that if I tried to recover monies from the situation that went south, that he would personally come after me. Y'all have to deal with me. I'll come for you. Like inferring that he would use his law enforcement connections to try and stop me from suing his mother-in-law, who owned one of the buildings that was housing some of the people where the money was going to fix up properties, pay bills, and do all those things for the people that was there. I didn't live there. I didn't live it. I mean, all I did was give them money and go work my ass off on the weekends, putting in bathrooms for the well-being of other people. Don't forget, Jim and Karen were millionaires, $3 million that they couldn't manage. Now, Chuck had talked repetitively, this is Jim's brother-in-law married to Kathy, about what a loser Jim was and how many harebrained schemes he had come up with. And he didn't believe Jim had any spiritual conversion at all. It was just another scheme. And he vocalized that to several people. He vocalized that to Jack Lemmon, another friend of mine named Shannon. And I've heard all the stories. Jim couldn't manage $3 million. Okay, now, so when the whole Ark thing happened and I confronted Karen about, well, what's going on? Where's all the money going? Because I had to add money to budgets for the get-together the night under the clouds. She was livid and they didn't have any answers. I'm like, you know what? I don't care. I'm not the one in charge of the money that goes to you guys, but I did make some budgets for the night under the stars. I said, this money's for this money's for this, and this money's for this. That's what I can afford to put this get together on with. And it was mismanaged. And I was like, well, wait a minute. We still have to build a deck. We have to. And I said, you know what? I'll just pay personal money just to get the deck built and those type of things. So I did. I reached into my own pocket and said, let's just get this thing ready because all these people were coming to A Night Under the Stars. We had the get together. It was a smashing success. Great time. Supernatural. The Lord has let me lay hands on people that are near death and they're well. He's had me lay hands on people that are blind and they see. People that are completely blind in one eye and their sight came back within 20, 30 minutes. People that are terminally ill and they're well. Okay, that's one of the gift sets that the Lord's given me. He gave me the ability to see past what normal people can see. The Vatican is built in the shape of a serpent. The Lord showed it to me from an aerial view. He told me, come in at a 45-degree angle to the Vatican. I want to show you something. So I manifest very supernatural gifts. It's just a fact. And I use those gifts for the glory of God. Now these people that turned on everybody because they had their place open, they were receiving all these monies. People were, stepping up, helping them out. I was giving them personal money. Jim was, hey, I'll make you this AR. I've got extra parts. I'm like, okay, whatever. And I would buy some weapons from him. So he had some personal money, but they're trying to convolute this. He also had an FFL and he was growing weed at the time I met him. So when I met him, he was a felon and not a little bit of a felon, a pretty damn big felon, because you can't be growing marijuana and trading it and using it as a means of bartering and carrying an FFL, a federal firearms license. So I said, I'm out. I want nothing to do with I can't do it. He said, I'll quit doing it. I said, okay, well, your wife's well, she's on her way to recovery. You're born again Christian. I was believing everything was going well. I said, all right. I went out and looked. There was no more weed. They had taken all the lights, put them in the shipping containers. I was like, okay, guys, I give it my blessing. If people want to go live there, I'll throw some money at Jim. Other people start throwing money at the Sullivans and fixing this place up in the woods. It was a dump and they made it really nice, bought other buildings. I helped convert them, put in bathrooms, did all this work, put in base. I mean, we made it from a dump to a really nice place. But then Karen was manifesting hatred towards me. And I was like, this is so weird. I wonder why she's like exuding this hatred towards me. And the Night Under the Stars was coming up, and she wanted everyone to be able to carry a weapon at the get-together. And I'm like, what? I was like, no, we had security. Jack and Shannon were the security. I said, I'm putting them in charge of security. No one's allowed to have weapons except the person, the people that are security, because I get death threats from YouTube all the time. I've been living under the threat of death since I started this ministry. When you start showing people that the Vatican's a snake, that the whole building is a snake, you start getting death threats. When you show people the kind of information that I show people, you start getting death threats. I've had some people show up in my house, and I've even publicly stated anyone that shows up in my house unannounced will be considered a threat because of the threats that I live under constantly. Now Jim and Karen are trying to turn this around. It's very strange, and now I think I know why. You want to know why? Just like Chuck said, he had threatened me that if I tried to recover monies that were given to them because they threw everybody out, so all these people go and start moving in. I'm paying bills in Beach City. I'm paying bills at the Ark. I'm supporting them financially, giving them money. Other people are donating monies because of my goodwill that I've established through my ministry, and they're giving money to Jim and Karen. And Jim and Karen that have already blown through their $3 million have money coming in again. Well, towards the Night Under the Stars, which was the big get-together where I would reveal very supernatural information and have a meet and greet and give everybody a big hug. It was an awesome deal. But Karen started manifesting hatred. She wanted anyone that wanted to bring a gun. It's my property. Anyone that wants to bring a gun can bring a gun. And I was like, no way. I'm going to cancel the whole thing then. That's it. I'm not going to risk some people showing up, and because some lunatic on YouTube hates me, shows up and kills a bunch of people, Karen, I'm not going to do it. I don't care if someone shows up to kill me, but at a get-together and they show up and they do something like that, no. And finally, Jack Lamb was like, that's it. No, I'm done either. And that's when Karen acquiesced and said, okay, whatever. And then we mentioned to her, hey, we need to get some porta potties. I had just converted this building that Jim had bought for the big get together, and we put in another bathroom, so we had 3 functioning bathrooms. But a friend of mine that runs a septic company named Billy Lojak, he said, that's not going to be enough, Johnny. It's going to overflow with the amount of people that you'll get. And so we mentioned it to Karen, and Karen said, I don't care if they're walking around shit up to their ankles. I was like, what? Did she? No, she didn't say that. She sure did. So then those words started coming back to me. I'm like, what's going on? Maybe she's just under a lot of pressure, whatever. And so I confronted her on it, and so she stepped out of the way. I said, you know what? Either step out of the way or I'm canceling the whole deal. I'm not. And so Jack and Shannon remained our security, and Jack and Mary, his wife, remained security, and Shannon. And that was it. And we got the porta potties, so we didn't overflow the plumbing that we had just put in these new buildings. We had a great time. I rented a place down the street so people could park their vehicles. We bust them right over down the street. I rented a place that does wedding venues down the street. It was an awesome get-together. I stood there and met everybody, got to hug everybody. My thing is I like to give you a hug just to know that I'm here and I care for you. Now, after all that happened, I established all this goodwill for the well-being of everybody and the people that were there. Then I come home to San Antonio, and I hear just clear as a bell in front of Corey, call Karen Sullivan and confront her. Now, here's the thing. A lot of people, oh, you hear God clack. You know what the Bible says? My sheep hear my voice, and they follow me. Okay, so part of knowing that you're saved is when hearing the Lord's voice. My sheep hear my voice. The Bible says, if any of you lacks wisdom, let him ask God, who gives to all men liberally and without reproach, and it will be given to you. But when you ask, make sure you expect an answer, because if you don't, you're double-minded and you can expect nothing from the Lord. Well, I know the Lord's, if I need help, he's going to answer me. Part of the reason I'm doing this video is because I was like, what the hell's going on? So now, here we go. We have the night under the stars. And then I confront Karen Sullivan. I'm saying, why are you speaking maliciously about me? She lied 3 times. Said she wasn't, right in front of Corey as a witness. I said, Karen, I'm not telling you that some human told me. You've seen how supernatural things are. I'm telling you the Lord God whom I serve told me to confront you. So I ask you, yes or no, before the Lord God, yes or no, Karen? Have you been speaking maliciously? And she started giggling. Well, yeah, okay, I've started. I'm like, why? Why would you do that? What did I do to you? Oh my gosh. And she's like, I guess I'm just feeling ornery, whatever. She blew it off. I was like, that's crazy. I can't believe it. Karen, what? You're talking shit about me behind my back? I mean, Karen, you of all people, the Lord had me lay hands on you. And she yelled at me, you didn't heal me, Johnny. It was the Lord. I'm like, no kidding. I'm his servant. He sent me. So she had this hatred towards me. She did 2 phony apology videos. The Lord told me not to believe a word of it. I have these letters from Jim and Karen. They're part of the folders. I've saved them. If you read these letters and you saw the way they act like I'm their best friend and all this other stuff, and then you saw what's going on right now, you probably wouldn't believe it. But now I'm going to get to the point of what's going on. Why would these people, Jim, Karen, Kathy, and Chuck, be congregating at this channel where this guy's obviously needs mental help? This is a mentally disturbed person. I'm going to show you another set of video clips on both his channels. Almost every single video is about me in a derogatory way. He's inciting violence against me, against my family, against the people that follow me. He mentions Corey's that Cat. Cat lives out in North Carolina. Corey moved here a few years ago to help me work on some stuff here at the house, and he had gotten divorced. He didn't really have a place to go. Zach was living out at the Ark. Jim invited Zach to live at the Ark. And when I saw it kind of going down, I was like, I extended the invitation. If Zach wanted to live here, he could. He's got a mom that lives in San Antonio, though. But she's got renters. She takes in rent to help pay the bills. So why were these people doing this? Well, why did Karen feel it so necessary to talk about, oh, Jonathan Kleck said, yeah, you can just kill him, trying to like a red flag law type thing, when the real red flag should be Karen and her husband Jim, who is growing weed with an FFL, which is freaking insane. You're growing weed with an FFL? Have you lost your mind? But he was. No big deal. I'm the one that said you gotta stop or no one's coming near your place. He did. But then he's making ARs, giving them to people. He gave them to his neighbors, sold them to his neighbors. He had all the parts because he made them from his gun store. Why are they making a point of mentioning it here? Watch. Why are they doing this? Eric agreed he would be the one to make sure his brother is dead and would be the last one standing. Corey had that responsibility at Kleck's home. Nobody was to be taken by whatever authority came after us because there were no longer humans. This was not for discussion with anyone, not in Kleck's inner circle. This discord that comments perpetuate have very real ramifications. Well, you know, Karen knows and Jim sit around. They know that they handed out weapons. They know that, you know, Jim needed money. Hey, I can make you this. I've got all the parts. And I'm like, okay, so yeah, I ended up with several weapons from Jim. But they have what's called a pistol brace on them, a pistol brace. Well, did you know that now pistol braces are felonies? They are. It's a felony. So this would be a good time that if you have a pistol brace, for you to destroy it, get rid of it, destroy it, and then go dispose of it. If you need to, talk to an attorney. I realized when I saw what's going on here, Chuck's already threatened to use his law enforcement buddies against me if I was trying to try and recover money for all the people that supported his brother-in-law, Jim. By the way, which Chuck, all he did was just talk shit from what I heard about Jim over and over, and what a get-rich-quick scheme guy is. But he had already burned through $3 million, and now Jonathan Kleck and the people that follow me online were his source of income. Oh, give me donations. Fix on my property. They kicked everybody out of both properties and sold the property after we paid to fix it all up. If I would have taken the money that went to those people, we could have paid all their rent for 5 years somewhere. Easy. But they benefited. See, they took in all the money, fixed up their properties, paid all their bills. But then when they were confronted, why are you talking shit about me behind my back? Everybody get the fuck out. That was it. Here's the eviction notice. Handicapped people and all, moms, dads, kids, handicapped people, get out. How dare you question Karen Sullivan that she was talking shit behind your back? Then I come to find out that all these people are saying, yeah, Johnny, we didn't want to tell you, man. We didn't want to hurt your feelings. I'm like, what? Yeah, she was like, while I'm over there on my hands and knees putting together a deck on their property for handicapped people, she's over there saying, I'm about to tell Johnny to get the package in and get the fuck out. I'm like, why? What did I do? Because I wanted to put a sliding glass door in the building that they had bought because I thought it would be nice to do for them. That was the reason. So anyway, so now I've realized, I think I see what they're doing. This Gene Rebel guy, oh, you're not going to like what's going to happen to you, John. What, Karen and Jim, are y'all making police reports that aren't true? Because you know if police come over here and they say, oh, we hear you have weapons because Jim made some, they'll find out that they had pistol braces. And for every single one, it could be a felony. What a great way to get even with Jonathan Kleck, the guy that said the Lord said he was taking away your blessings. So you know what? Today, I made sure we did a video. We put together a video because we took the time the other day to take every single pistol brace that Jim had put on any weapon. And even, you know, some of them, they can come in a box. People buy pistol braces sometimes just because, oh, I like the color. This one's pink or this one's purple, you know, to customize their AR. But we took every single one. Every single one. Let me show you what we did with them. I want this to be a record to any law enforcement, any civil case that may arise out of this. I want this as a documented evidence. Documented evidence right now. That this is what we did. Because I found out that the pistol brace is now, if you have one, it's a felony. I don't have one at all. Everyone that I had got cut into pieces and got tossed. Let me show you. Okay, so we took the ones that Jim Sullivan had either gifted or sold. That's why she put in his private collection. I started, why'd you put private collection? Well, every time he gave me one, I said, this is all totally legal, right, Jim? Oh, yeah, totally. Okay, well, all right. I'm relying on you as the person selling it to be telling the truth. I mean, you are the one that should know that. But anyway, this will stand as a record. So we took the ones and we put them in this box right here. And then after I cut them in half and I cut them in several pieces with a chop saw, I went and took them to the dump and I got a receipt and then I threw them in the dump and I recorded everything. Because I want law enforcement that would look at this to consider also the possibility of misuse of the statute or whatever it is. If someone has a pistol, well, you know, whatever it is, whatever it's called, pistol grip, and they're not aware of it. I don't know if you guys know, 40 million Americans right now have been instantly become felons right now. So the ATF or law enforcement could show up and say, do you have any of these pistol grips? Well, I can say 100% honestly, no, sir, I do not have a one. I got rid of them. I destroyed every one of them. I cut them and then I took them and threw them in the dump. And I can look at a policeman and say that. But if you didn't get rid of your pistol grip and the police show up and say, do you have these? Or if they have a warrant and you have them, you could be charged for a felony for every one. I can see Jim and Karen and Kathy and Chuck, because of what's happened to me previously, filing false reports because they mentioned they had filed some report with the police in San Antonio. I'm like, for what? Filing a report for what, Karen, Kathy, Jim, Chuck, for what? What have I done? Except endure an entire year of being maligned by a psychopath that y'all are giving accolades to. Watch, I want to show you guys. These people are not stable. Let's go through the disposal of the pistol grips. Here we go. Ready? Let's make sure they got destroyed.
This is a very important video for everybody to understand. There's a new rule that came out. The ATF made a rule that no pistol braces, which are basically these things, these are considered illegal now. So I have a handful of these things that were put on weapons that Jim Sullivan made and passed out, distributed during my time of knowing Jim and Karen and Kathy and Chuck. They're all part of the same family, but Jim was passing out those weapons. And if anybody has a weapon that he made you and you have one of these on it, you need to take it off immediately and you need to destroy it. And I'm going to make a record right now of destroying all these. It's very strange. I've seen some very strange things online with Jim and Karen Sullivan. Kathy, her sister as well. They've aligned themselves with a channel called Gene Rebel. Anybody that watches any of his videos, you would have to know the guy's, he's mentally ill. I think it's more than that. I think it's extreme spiritual takeover. So anyway, so in some of his videos, it's become abundantly clear that they have this agenda, you know, get Jonathan Kleck, and then he mentioned Cat, Corey, Zach in one of his videos. So I'm crossing the T's and dotting the I's because these were on some weapons that Jim Sullivan had made and given to us. So anyway, I'm going to take these and I'm going to destroy every one of them right now, and I'm going to make a record of it. Corey, you can pause while I set this thing up. Okay, so anyway, like I said, and I've noticed some very strange things in the comments, Karen Sullivan making some very strange accusations. And so we're going to put these things to rest. If any of you have these, I highly suggest you comply with the law. If you have a pistol brace, it's not worth the trouble that you could get in for having it. So I'm taking every single one I have and I'm destroying them right now. So here we go. And that's going to be dangerous.
Watch your fingers. They don't cut that easy. I thought that's just real easy.
All right, well, that one looks like it's ineffective. That has been destroyed.
So again, I want to make a point. In the comment I showed you where Karen Sullivan said Jim had given weapons to some of the inner circle. I had no inner circle. They all lived at the Ark. I live in San Antonio. It's insane. I'm sorry, I just can't help it. It's like, man, what are these people on? And so I thought, wow, that is very bizarre that they keep writing inner circle, in whatever law enforcement shows up. It sounds like they're trying to set something up where they send the law enforcement over to try and make some kind of weird confrontation, is what it looks like to me, which would be seriously illegal. Why in the world would they write those comments? So here we go again. Watch your fingers. Here we go.
I think online they said you can, destroy them, crush them, burn them. I guess it's up to you, but this is a little, you can feel the saw grabbing it. There's like chunks of metal in the middle. After we destroy all these, we're going to go take these and we're going to go throw them in a dumpster.
Okay, so I'm going to just pause it for a sec. So what I'm doing is I'm making a record that those were made by Jim Hughes. Those were attached to weapons that Jim Sullivan had made. Jim would make a weapon and give it to someone and say, hey, I made so-and-so a weapon, like, you want to give me some money? He was using his AR parts as a way to enrich himself because he wanted personal money. Don't forget, he had already burned through $3 million. He had no job, no source of income. So he had a weed growing thing going on while he had an FFL. Again, if people know this as a fact, I told him no go. He wanted to open the doors. Hey, this is what I'd like to do. I'm so grateful that my wife's well. I want to move people in. I'll call it the Ark. I said, there's no way unless you quit with the weed thing. No way at all. Then once people got there, hey, I made them an AR, and then I could really use some personal money. Oh, okay. So, then it became kind of like a little way for him to, oh, hey, I need $1,000. Hey, Johnny, you want an AR, a 9mm on an AR platform? I'm like, don't even know what it is, but okay, whatever. And so now I've destroyed every single one. Because let me show you what they're doing. I'm going to come back to this and say, watch this. Things are starting to become very interesting and very clear here now. Here's Kathy, her sister. Click, how many pics of me and Karen have you overlaid the image of the devil on them? The answer is 0. I have never overlaid a picture of the devil on Karen or Kathy. Dave the Wave took one picture that I know about, one, that's from Sam Unmasked. And it's because it looked so much like Karen with her scowl on her face that he overlaid it. And we're like, wow, that's crazy. It does kind of look like her. And it ended up in the folders. But I don't sit there and show it on videos. Oh, look, this is Karen. It actually popped up one time that I remember. And I was like, oh, I was upset that somehow it popped in front of me. I was like, oh, shit. And I tried to immediately jump off of it because I'm not here to malign people or make pictures of people where you cut their head off and put it on some creepy little animal and turn them into, something that shows someone's heart. That shows someone's heart that's really ill. Go look at all the folders. Go find me Karen as the devil in the folders. Go find one. Find one of Kathy in there and where they're the devil. I've noticed some things about Kathy's craft room that matches stuff with witches that I've noticed. They have the same common denominator, and those are put in the folders because I started noticing some of those things alongside with some of these other things that weren't adding up. Okay, here you go. How many pics of me and Karen have you overlaid with the image of the devil on? 0. How many times have you incited your followers against us? 0. I don't incite people against you. I pray for you, but I am now having to make a record because, again, let me tell you the reason we're here, period. A year ago when this was all really happening and Karen had been called out, I was like, what's happened to all the money for the art get together, like the night under the stars? And she was indignant, and Jim was like, oh, it got convoluted. I said, you know what? In front of Corey as a witness, I said, you know what? I don't care. Wipe the whole chalkboard clean. I don't care about it. It's all your thing. But I put money in these 3 budgets. And that money has to finish getting everything ready for the get-together. So I'm going to refurbish your budgets, but I want a receipt for every single thing that's bought, and then I want it in a Ziploc baggie. Those were my specific orders. And that's what we did, and we got our stuff ready for the night under the stars. And then after the night under the stars happened, the whole thing was done, and the revelation had come out, and we had all had our meet and greet, and it was super awesome. Shortly after that in San Antonio, the Lord told me to confront Karen Sullivan. She was speaking maliciously, malevolently evil about me and the people of the ministry. She lied repetitively, and then I said, Karen, I'm asking you before the Lord God. I stand before the Lord. I'm asking you yes or no. She started giggling. She said, yeah, okay, Jim and I have started. I was in shock. I can't believe you. Why? Why would you? Because she has a deep-seated hatred for me. That's why. Something's very wrong here. Okay, then shortly after that, everybody got eviction notices. After all this money went in for the time that we were fixing up the properties, fixing up the ark, helping with Beat City, paying all the bills. Jim and Karen didn't have any income coming in whatsoever. But people from the goodwill of my ministry were donating money to them. People that got inheritances were giving. What's really interesting, Jim and Karen never really volunteered any information of what was really being given to them. And I really didn't care that much, to be honest. I didn't really care. But then I came to find out after all this happened, this person said, oh, I gave him 10. This person, oh, I gave him 10,000. This person, oh, I was like, what? You gave him your mom's inheritance? Oh my gosh. And she's out talking shit about you behind your back as well? Yep. I told you Karen made 2 videos apologizing. The Lord told me don't believe one single word. I didn't. I just kept them as records. Every time I tried to post those videos, the videos were mysteriously taken down, or the channel was taken down off the platform, like Karen or Kathy or someone made such a stink that they would take the videos down or take the channel down. These are all facts. These are facts that have not countless, but lots of witnesses to everything I'm saying. Okay, now watch what Kathy wrote. Watch this. Ready? How far does JJ have to run? He's not using Zach's channel anymore. That's actually where I'm at. I'm going to be at tomorrow. Now it's Robert Chandler's channel. That's just not true. Jonathan Clegg, you'd better be a lion to mess with one. So now is that a threat? What's he talking about? I have nothing to do with these people except they won't let it go a year later. I don't think I would have ever understood the depths of evil had it not been for Clegg. Thank you, Jesus, for showing me exactly what a wolf in sheep's clothing looks like. Thanks, Gene, for another excellent video. Much love, no fear. Okay, so this is Kathy Edge. Thank you, Jesus, for showing me exactly what a wolf in sheep's clothing looks like. Thanks, Gene, for another excellent video. Okay, let's watch that video. Let's watch just what she thinks is excellence in videos. Okay, so thanks, Jean, for making another, whatever. What did she say? Another excellent video. So let's go back and review what those videos are like. Okay, so we're going to give you a little slice again of Jean's. I mean, just look at the intent of this person. I mean, every intent is to make me some weirdo. I mean, he hunts and he does a really good job trying to make the face he wants to portray what he's trying to get across, and it's just twisted. Okay. There you go. There you go. just so you know what that is, that's putting me on the head of a penis. That's a penis. And he put me on the head of a penis. So I don't think there's anything kind about any of these things.
Ah, what a beautiful moon on the 5th of May in the year 2023. Oh, come on in, moon. That is a pretty full moon. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful night. Starry, starry night. I don't think you're gonna like what you're about to receive, Jonathan.
I'm going to pause it there. So now start thinking about the comments that Karen and Kathy are writing about inner circle and guns, and no matter what law enforcement agency comes over. Well, Jim being the one that made those weapons, he knew that there were pistol grips on several of the weapons that he gave me and other people. So I made sure we took every single one off, cut it with a chop saw, threw it into the trash, and took it to the dump and videotaped every step of the process. Why is Gene Rebel doing this, saying this on this?
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful night. Starry, starry night. I don't think you're gonna like what you're about to receive, Jonathan.
I'm going to pause that. Let's go back to these. So here, let's go back to these comments. Eric agreed he would be the one to make sure his brother is dead, and he would be the last one saying, Corey had that responsibility at Kleck's home. Nobody was taken by whatever authority came after us because they were no longer human. This was not for discussion with anyone, not in Kleck's inner circle. This discord that comments perpetuates have very real ramifications. So the very channel that the entire channel is hate towards Jonathan Kleck, they're trying to take and twist some gun possession thing and turn it around towards myself and or other people that were there. Why else would they write those comments? It's very bizarre. So, what I made sure I did is, you know what? The pistol brace law is in effect. If you own one, if you have one, you can be charged as a felon. Do you think they would be the kind of people that would file some false bullshit police report in order to cause a situation, knowing that they had given me weapons that had because when they gave them to me, the pistol grip was not illegal. Not when they were made. But now it subsequently has become. So you think they know that? Don't you think they should at least reach out and notify everybody that Jim gave or sold a weapon to? Shouldn't he say, hey, by the way, you know, I made that weapon for you and it has a pistol grip and those are now illegal. You might want to get rid of that so you're not a felon. Wouldn't that be the right thing to do? I mean, you know, but I'll tell you what would be the very wrong thing to do. To know that you had made those for somebody, and then to go file a bullshit police report in order to try and send someone over so your beef with somebody turns them into a felon. That's sick. It's evil and it's twisted. And it looks like that's what's going on. So let me make sure that I finish the video that shows all that being destroyed. So now again, I'm making this for a record. Because if someone that follows this guy named Gene Rebel, I don't care who it is, whether or not it's Karen, Kathy, Chuck, Jim, or anyone else that follows the guy that is the Gene Rebel channel, and is there that person, any one of them is filing some kind of a report saying, oh yeah, these people are dangerous with guns, you better consider the source. Here you go. Watch this.
Makes this, you know, the shoulder stock on a short barrel on a pistol. It's called a pistol brace. But anyway, so the ATF made a law. By the way, Congress is supposed to make the laws, but anyway, until that's challenged and struck down, obey the law. And so here we are. This is it. Okay, so again, if you own one of these, just take it off and destroy it immediately and dispose of it, and just document you're disposing of it, document you're destroying it, and show that you have absolutely no intention of breaking the law. When it's been brought to your attention and conform with the law, even though you know, it may be unconstitutional until lawyers go fight that out. It is what's the law right now, so you need to obey the law. Okay.
I want to just speak for one moment. I think it's very important. Even if you have one that's in a box, even if it's brand new, because if even if you have one in a box, take it out and destroy it. It's not worth having it. And then can you imagine if you, being a person that owned one of these things, and like me, you're a law-abiding citizen. Since I got saved, since I was converted in 2002, I have had a very different life than the person I was before I got converted. Very, very different. My life is no longer just, it used to be about me and what I wanted to do. And I was a miscreant. But now I'm more concerned with everybody else's well-being than my own. I changed. The Lord changed me. So, yeah, I don't want to see anybody get in trouble for having one of these. And so, right now, the law is that if you have one, you're a felon. There's 40 million Americans that have those. That's what they estimate. So anyway, like I said, you should go get rid of it, destroy it, get rid of it. And if you have one that's in a package, take it out like I did and destroy it.
So that's all trash. I've done my due diligence, and I will be going to dispose of those now immediately. Get rid of those. All right, guys. Again, like I said, if any of you own these, a lot of this I ended up. I didn't even own a weapon until I met Jim Sullivan. I only had a pellet gun, and then he gifted me a gun the day I met him. And then, you know, long story short, after the whole ARC thing was going on, there's a lot going on out there. And I did a video, it's on CLEC Uncensored. And if you want to find out what I'm talking about, you can go to Click Uncensored and watch the video with all the witnesses and people that gave their testimonies as to the actual set of facts. Okay, that's it. We're going to go dispose of these now.
There is the voucher for
the
the
record,
disposal.
I've noticed some very, very disturbing behavior with Jim Sullivan, Karen Sullivan, Kathy Edge. Their behavior is not normal. They're backing some lunatic named Gene Revel, which is not his name, and the allegations that they're making look very much like people that are trying to set other people up to try and get them in trouble. That's what it looks like. So
Okay.
we've taken all the necessary steps. So anything that Jim Sullivan may have given me, or I had purchased some of these from him, every single thing that would be considered right now illegal by the ATF is in that bucket. It's going right in there. They've been cut up, they've been destroyed. Here we go. Documenting just throwing a bunch of crap. Okay, this is
Okay, I'm just gonna.
wood. This is just junk that we had at the house. Oh, that's leaves. Oh, the leaves.
We're having some little like glitch
And-
problems.
Yep. Yep. Corey, go ahead. What's in there? This grass.
Let's see, exit drawing. Okay, here he is. Sorry, guys. We were just throwing bags of other trash away like that. So I used it as an opportunity
yeah,
to
this
clean
is-
out some other crap.
Toss it.
And
The bucket. Corey, the orange bucket.
there
Yes.
goes.
There it is. There's the cut up pieces. Just dump, toss them in. There they go. Just dump them all at once. There they go. They're done. That's it. Okay, next. There it goes. Yeah, enough's enough of the nonsense. Yeah, just toss it. Okay, there it is.
Okay,
Documenting, making a record, because I see the very strange behavior from Jim Sullivan, Karen Sullivan, this channel called Gene Revel, where the guy is obviously a lunatic. He obviously needs some kind of mental help. And I see that they're trying to create a false narrative, and what they're trying to do is say, oh, Johnny said he would kill anyone that comes to his house. That's a total lie. Jim would also be a person that knew that I had pistol braces because he made them and gave them to me. So now I'm making sure they're all cut up and they're all thrown in the trash. And I no longer have any of them. Documented.
all right. Well, there you go. So that's, on that end, just wanted to make sure we're totally clear now. Again, I want to put this video to rest. I have so much stuff that's important for the well-being of the world, people in the world. I'm trying to get people out of here before all hell breaks loose. And what I mean by that is, it used to say V for vengeance behind me. That's a right side up. It said V, letter number 4 for vengeance. And then upside down, V for vengeance. And what that means is the system that we, you, me, all of us are born into is a twin system, right side up and upside down. Male energy and female energy in opposition to each other. I'm trying to help you get converted, where your eye gets turned up, you receive Christ, and then you're no longer under God's vengeance. It's not my vengeance. I'm not here to take vengeance on anybody. I'm here to try and get you out of the vengeance, because the vengeance that's coming is from the Lord God, not me. The Lord God, when he shows up. If you don't make it out of here, it's called the harpazo, and either you believe in it or you don't, or you understand Revelation 3 or you don't. But my hope is in Christ. I don't see when New York gets nuked and the images that are printed on the U.S. currency. I've shown you all the images of the bombings printed on U.S. currency. I'll show it to you again at the end of this video. When this happens, do you think it's going to matter how much money you have? Do you think it's going to matter? I mean, do you think anything's going to matter once nuclear war starts in the world? Do you think anything's going to matter? The only thing that's going to matter is, did you get converted? That's what V for Vengeance represents on my parachute, because it's a right side up, upside down system. It's a twin system. And if you don't get cleansed and made whole, then God's going to take his vengeance on your soul. And I don't want that to happen for anyone. That's why I've been willing to throw myself under the bus to try and help everybody. And Jim Sullivan and Karen Sullivan, those people have just shown how wicked they are, and that Psalm 35 is absolutely true. They repaid me evil for good. But that's okay. I pray for them and I mean it. It's annoying to watch people be that hateful towards you after you've done so much for them. But when I see them posturing themselves the way they're posturing, oh, Jonathan got Jim's private club. It's like, what? No, your husband wanted more money, so he kept saying, hey, I have these parts and I made this. If you want it, I can, sell it to you really cheap. And I just felt sorry for him. And I was like, okay, you know what? Whatever. I'll give it to somebody. I've given several of the weapons he gave me away. I'm like, whatever. It's not, you're not going to survive the world that's coming. That's it. No one's going to survive it. Okay, you know what? Now would be a good time. Now I've documented this channel. I think just for the authorities, I'm just going to show you his thumbnails for his videos. I told Dave the Wave, Dave, just go to this guy's channel and just show every video that this guy's done. Just very briefly, so watch this. Let's do that. There needs to be a record of it. There has to be a record of this. Here you go. All right, so here we go. All I'm going to do is play this. This is just a documentation that there's a guy that has a channel named Gene Rebel, and his entire channel is to incite violence against me and the people that follow the ministry. So here you go. Ready? And I'm just going to let this play. It's 10 minutes. If you don't want to, watch it, you can just, whatever point you're at in the video, just fast forward 10 minutes through it. I'm going to let this play, though. Here we go. I'm going to pause it for one moment. I think the thing to remember is every single video has my name, or JJ, because that's their little rude Jonathan Kleck call out, JJ. I know why they use JJ, and I think they don't think I do. Yeah. Part 2, Jonathan Kleck turns water into semen. Okay. Jonathan Kleck turns water into semen. What would a failed prophecy, spiritual blackmail even look like? I mean, look at this. Every single one. And this is a channel where Karen Sullivan is making comments about guns. Guns. That her husband may. And they're trying to turn that around on someone else? That's crazy. And these people are dangerous. No doubt about it. Here we go. Look at all these images. Look at the time he spends. Just a teenage dirtbag. Jonathan Kleck turns water into semen. Kleck's story stinks to high heaven. So see, again, it's just the same crap over and over again. So you know what? I'm just going to cut that. I'm going to leave that as a link in one of the folders if anyone wants to go watch it. But again, I'm here to cross the T's and dot the I's. Every single brace that Jim Sullivan put on anything he gave me or anything that was in a box, anything, has been destroyed and has been videotaped being destroyed and disposed of. Okay, anyway, so now let me see where we're at. Yeah, tell me y'all don't want to watch 7 more minutes of this, do you? Here. We have 7 more minutes of just going through his thumbnails on his videos. Every single one's about me. Look. Every single one. Every single one. It's like, dude, this guy is just so obsessed. Anyway, I'm sorry. I'm trying to just laugh it off a little bit. But when they start making comments again, like Karen and Kathy, and they start alluding to, oh, you said you would shoot authorities. Have y'all lost your evil minds? Again, I owned a pellet gun before I met them. They had no income. They had burned through $3 million because they're such narcissists. But they call me a narcissist. They don't even know how many people I helped take care of. The people that were kicked out of the ark, I'm still paying for their rent. I'm still helping the people that were kicked out make ends meet. They said that when they sold the property, and I have a text message from a realtor out there. Jim and Karen were so afraid that I was going to file suit against them. They had a realtor contact me and say, look, the Sullivan said they're going to give you $50,000 right off the top as soon as they sell it. Because they were so worried about me going and file suit against them. Other people wanted to file class action suits against them. People were pissed. They knew that a lot had gone in to help people have some place to live. And then when Karen got called out, she told everybody, there's the bird, get the F out. They were leaving handicapped people on the street, mothers and moms and dads, little kids. And when I talked to Chuck, I said, Chuck, listen, I give you my word. I will not sue Edith, the old lady that has all the money, which is what they're all worried about protecting. I said, all I'm asking you to do is tell your wife to quit going online and running her mouth and being so hateful. That's all I'm asking. Give me your word. I'll give you my word. I'm not going to let anyone go after your mother-in-law. I'll give you my word. I said, all right, I give you my word. And he was very nice and congenial. He said, all right, Johnny, if your daughter lives up around these parts, she ever needs a ride to San Antonio, I'll get her there faster than anyone in the state. And I thought, well, that's a nice thing to say. I appreciate that. And now it's devolved into this crap. Something's very wrong, obviously. Something is running them that's not right. Okay, so now I'm going to leave that there. I've made the record of it. I don't want to keep going on just because it just feels dirty. I'm going to hang up and I'm going to pray for them. I'm going to pray for every one of them. Of course, Gene will do a video mocking me, praying for him. When you pray for the people that persecute you, when you pray for those that hate you, you know what it does for you? It releases you. You don't end up getting caught up in the sludge of their hatred. These people are so caught up in the mire and the sludge of their own hatred, they can't get away from it. Just go read the comments. It's like, oh my gosh. They don't even see it. They can't see the forest for the trees. It's like, oh my God, you guys, y'all don't recognize that you're following someone that's like a bad version of the Riddler? It's like, oh my gosh. All right. Again, I'm going to finish this with looking at the moon, because this is, let's see, Dave wrote on this. This is a documentation of video titles and thumbnails on the Gene Rebel YouTube channel, beginning with his first video from February 19, 2021, and his most recent from June 7, 2023. This video shows that his entire channel has been dedicated entirely in the derogatory mention and mocking of Jonathan Kleck. Okay, you know what? Okay, whatever. Do whatever floats your boat, dude. But when Karen and Kathy and Jim, and they start coming on alluding to weapons, and they said they're going to kill everyone in the inner circle, it's like, no. Y'all are following a freaking lunatic, and y'all have become the lunatics. So in order to make sure that you weren't just trying to, oh, you need to go over there and have a look, I cut up every pistol brace and disposed of them. They're gone. That's it. There's nothing here. No pistol braces. Everything's gone. All right? There it is. Now, someone should investigate. Maybe Jim. Is it wrong to have law enforcement ties and be threatening somebody that has done nothing except support your get-rich-quick brother-in-law? I mean, shouldn't everybody just leave me alone and let me just help take care of the people that I've been taking care of? And you guys go get your pound of flesh somewhere else? Okay, anyway. All right, I love you guys in Christ. Now, I'm going to show you what's coming. It looks like this is about to happen. I'm going to show you the U.S. currency. I have some short little video clips. I prophesied in 2007, behold, the hand of the oppressor has been lifted against you, and out of the sea shall come fire and smoke, and a devouring wind. Water as high as the walls of Jerusalem will cover the city by the sea, and great shall be the destruction of that city. It's New York. And behold, the great wall which holds back the abundance of the river shall burst forth, bringing the hand of the oppressor against you. For I have seen it, says the Lord. For mighty is your enemy that is risen from within your own borders. Now behold the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet, standing in the holy place where it should not be. Here is the mystery made known to you. You are the holy place, of which I speak, and the abomination shall rise from within the walls of the temple to destroy the temple. For have you not seen, have you not heard? Has it not been made known to you? Have you not read the scriptures? When the sons of God came in unto the daughters of men, they did bear children to them, and the same became mighty men. Has not the sea turned mighty? And the sea shall turn terrible before your very eyes, and the terrible one shall be elevated within the sea. I could keep going, but it doesn't even matter anymore. I love you in Christ. My heart's broken for the whole world. All I want to do is save everybody. My whole heart is just to help everybody. And I'm busy fending off attacks from lunatics. All right, guys. The time has come. It looks like the time of destruction mentioned in the Bible is upon us at any time. It doesn't matter. We're at the door of nuclear war. Everybody knows it. Let me show you the words that came out of my mouth. Out of the sea shall come fire and smoke and a devouring wind. That's a nuke going off in the ocean. Water as high as the walls of Jerusalem. That's a tidal wave. Shall cover the city by the sea. Those very words ended up printed as images on U.S. currency notes. The words that I just spoke subsequently came out on U.S. currency notes. There's images of tidal waves covering buildings on the new $10 bill. Out of the sea shall come fire and smoke and a devouring wind. That's a nuke. That's printed on the new 100. The new 100 came out after I spoke those words. Those exact words are manifest on the new $100 bill. Water as high as the walls of Jerusalem will cover the city by the sea. Who even says something like that? And that's made manifest on the $10 bill. There's a tidal wave covering a 7-story building. And the words that came out of my mouth match the tidal wave that's printed on the $10 bill, the new one. Do you understand that that's a prophetic utterance that's already proven itself to be true? The images are already printed on the U.S. currency. Now the events are just a matter of when they happen. Just like the Twin Towers was printed right on the $20 bill. There's the Twin Towers right there. On the back of that bill is the Pentagon bombing. The old $20 bill has the federal building bombing on it, for God's sakes. It's a no-brainer. Okay, I love you guys in Christ. I want you to pray for Jim and Karen and Kathy and pray for this Gene guy. But I think it's time to find out, through the proper channels who Gene is, and maybe it's time for some serious letters. Okay, so, yeah, because this is the wrong thing to try and do. All right. Let's watch some U.S. currency videos. I'm going to show you the $100 bill. I'm just going to do it right up here at the top. I'm going to show you the 3 layers of ink so you can understand. Right here on the new 100, out of the sea shall come fire and smoke and a devouring wind. Okay. You see the $100 bill over here on the left? There's another layer of ink. There's another layer of ink. It's like one of those little comics you draw on a piece of paper, like a couple pieces, and you flip it. Plays like one of those little claymation, whatever, stick figure flipping the pages. There's the buildings. Here's the devouring winds. There it is. See the buildings? You see the second layer of ink? See the third layer of ink? Out of the sea shall come fire and smoke and a devouring wind. So here's the $100 bill that came out. There it is. There's the buildings being devoured. Water as high as the walls of Jerusalem. Well, there's the new $10 bill. And you see the tidal wave coming over the building. I put a little blue here so you could see it. This is the reflection from this line down. That's the reflection of this building in the water. I had Dave do the wave blue so you could see it. So here's what it looks like. There's a tidal wave coming over the building. Okay. Here's kind of an interesting reality. Here's a statue of the Twin Towers with the Virgin, and it just represents the dragon's system. The twin system is run by the dragon. The dragon is the enemy of God. See the dragon, there's the eye. They made the smoke of the two burning. But see the Virgin representing the female mother goddess that runs the system. Let me show you what the Twin Towers really represent. They represent Cain and Abel. They represent the human host body system is a cannibalistic twin system. That's why the Twin Towers were bombed. Because the whole host body system, if you've ever wanted to know what happens to you when you die, you go immediately to the pit if you don't get converted. If you don't get turned up, you go straight to the pit. By the way, I saw one of the lunatics mention in the video my rings that someone said, oh, look, he's wearing Karen's ring. No, that nonsense flew off my finger so many times, and I heard the Lord tell me, don't touch it. It's like, all right, these are Our Father prayers. Because the night I got saved, I prayed Our Father, and that's when to the sky and water and light came down on me. So here is the twin system, good and evil. See, good is up, evil is down. Good is up, evil is down. This represents one eye in your body that the enemy, the angel of the bottomless pit, sees through one of your eyes. And then Abel, the other eye, goes to heaven. So the energy from one eye, the energy goes to the pit. The other one goes down like an angel and a demon on your shoulders, represented by a right side up, upside down triangle, like my parachute, V for vengeance. So the Lord's, I'm not here to take vengeance on anybody. I'm the V for vengeance guy because the Lord told me, warn the world because I'm about to take vengeance on the entire world, like Noah tried to warn everybody. And I don't come with just words. The Lord sends me with incredible power and information. It's not just my words. He has me lay hands on people that are blind and they see. Let me show you how I can read their language. The covenant of death, 2,977 people were killed. See, that's what it says. Well, do you know what that number is in the Bible? You know how I know what it means? The Lord told me to look it up. So, 2,977 in the Bible means secret, secretly, done in secret. Well, you know what's done in secret? Your murder is done in secret. Because inside of you is Cain and Abel. You're your own cannibal. One energy is murdering the other one. The harder you try to fight it, there's a band called Slipknot, the tighter it gets. The only way to win the fight is to surrender, turn back to God and admit your guilt and ask for forgiveness, and He'll forgive you. And then you'll go through you'll get converted and you'll go through your process of sanctification. So there you go. There's the Arch of Washington. Right behind Washington, it says exitus acta probat, the outcome justifies the deed. And it's Satan talking about using the twin system to destroy God's angels because one represents an angel, one represents a demon, and the host body is the outcome justifies the deed, the formation of the host body system to kill God's angels. That's what the whole world's about. That's the whole story. Why do you think the Vatican is a snake? The whole building is built in the shape of a snake. Why? Well, because the world is an idol and it manifests itself in what it actually is. It's just a manifestation of what it is. There it is. Exitus acta probat. The outcome justifies the deed. What they put in the place of the Twin Towers? The One World Freedom Tower. Do what thou wilt. Right there. There's a One World Freedom Tower that replaced the two. Now there's one. The two have become one. And Satan's host body system is ready for him. And that's what's going on. So on the back of the $20 bill that was made in 96 right here, there's the Twin Towers being bombed right under the arch. And when you turn that bill over, oddly enough, look, there's the Pentagon. Oh my gosh. So on one bill, on one U.S. currency note that was made before the bombings, you're telling me it's remotely impossible to have the bombing of the Twin Towers on one side with a perfect location of both explosions. And then on the backside, you could actually have an image of the Pentagon blowing up. Do you know that's absurd? See the Pentagon, the white rectangular building, 3 rows of square windows. See them? Explosion, rectangular building. Let me show you what that looks like when I show you the different layers of ink. Look. Okay, here's one of the layers of ink. See it? Okay, well, I showed you the layers of ink on the $100 bill. Watch this. You want to see crazy? Let me show you the other layers of ink. There you go. There's the Pentagon. Look at that. Pentagon bombing on 1985 through 1995 circulation $20 bill. So there is the Pentagon blowing up on your $20 bill. Do you know what was enacted because of that? The Patriot Act. Do you know what the Patriot Act has allowed the federal government to do? Spy on whoever they want. It was supposed to be to spy on those battle terrorists. Terrorists didn't bomb the Twin Towers. What's running the host body system bombed the Twin Towers. It's proven right now because it's on your U.S. currency notes. So there's no doubt about, well, some guys that couldn't fly Cessnas, they didn't bomb the Twin Towers. Satan used the human host body system to do it. So here's the new $10 bill. Let me show you something really interesting. You see this tree right here? That's not a normal tree at all. That's not how you would make a tree. Neither is this. And you see this oval right here? There used to be a double line. There used to be a line here and then another line on the outside. And if you put those double lines around these trees, it would never look like a tidal wave coming over that 7-story building. But because the lines aren't there, there's your wave. Out of the sea shall come fire and smoke and a devouring wind. Water right here as high as the walls of Jerusalem will cover the city by the sea. I went and looked up the walls of Jerusalem and I was in complete shock. Let me show you what it would look like. There's the $10 bill right there. I wonder what the odds are. And it's about to happen because everyone's rattling sabers about Russia and nukes, but it's already planned out. So here's the Arch of Washington where I showed you the bombing of the Twin Towers right under the arch. And right now I just clipped out the $100 bill because that's going to be what's next. Now, again, I told you I'm the V for Vengeance guy. That's the vengeance that I'm talking about. I have no intention of hurting anybody. None. Zero. The idea of hurting someone sounds absolutely horrible to me. Just sounds awful. I lived part of my life where I dealt with people and I don't like it. The idea of violence sucks. But no one's going to perpetrate their violence on me either. That's not right. There you go. You see the Arch of Washington? See that? See that? That's from a movie, I think, Day After Tomorrow maybe, or some movie. They telegraph it all the time in front of you. Let's see. Gene was upset about the $50 bill not happening yet. That's the Hoover Dam. You see these lines right here? That shows the dam intact. Here's the spillway at the bottom. That's the $50 bill. It shows the whole thing intact, but out of the sea shall come fire and smoke, devouring wind, water as high as the walls of Jerusalem will cover the city by sea, and great shall be the destruction of that city. Now behold, the great wall, which holds back the abundance of the rivers, shall burst forth, bringing the hand of the oppressor against you. So there's the Hoover Dam bursting forth in some movie. Let me show you what they did to the $50 bill. They changed it up. So when they changed up the $50 bill, the double line on the back right here that made the water retainment on the other 50, it's missing right here. And these lines of white is the water flowing freely over. And under magnification, and I don't know if we got the images in here, under magnification, you'll see that this bill right here, now this is the one that's got the barrier still. This is the line under magnification where the dam is still up. But when you see the other $50 bill, not this one, when you see the other one where this double line is missing, you'll see the water flowing freely over that dam. Let me show you. Okay, I'm going to show you first. This is the federal building bombing in Oklahoma City right here on the old $20 bill. Let's see. Here we go. Ready? Let's just play. You'll be able to see the movement in the layers of ink. There's 1, 2, 3 right here. So I want you to look at this. This is the federal building bombing in Oklahoma City right here. This is the first layer of ink. Look at the second layer of ink. See the concussion of the explosion coming off the building? Look at the third layer of ink. Look at that. This is the third layer. This is Oklahoma City bombing. This is a no-brainer now. It doesn't require a brain. The Lord's had me do the work for you. Watch. So there, see it right here? Oklahoma bombing. There it is. That's the old $20 bill. Shows the building blown up. Now here's the Twin Towers. And you can see there's the layers of ink as well. Let me move this. Here you go. First layer, second layer, third layer. Here we go. And then we'll play it in a row up here. Ready? Go. 1, 2, 3. There it is. 1, 2, 3. 3 layers of ink again. Twin Towers blowing up. Wow. There's the Pentagon. There's layer number 2. Layer number 3. 1, 2, 3. Ready? There you go. There you go. 1, 2, 3. So it plays like a short little movie clip. Okay, now watch this. You see the lines across the Hoover Dam? They're the bridges. They came out with a new $50 bill. They took the double line off the back of the bill around the oval. So when you make a pentagram out of it and turn it upside down, which is the Church of Satan, then you'll see all the unidirectional lines of water all of a sudden just changed. Watch. This is not possible. Watch. Okay, now that was the old 50 that had the dual lines. Now here's the new one. Watch. See it? Look what happened to the lines. So the new $50 bill, they take off the double lines around the back on the oval, and then it just so happens all the watermarks turn to unidirectional lines like water moving. Here's all the water coming out of the dam right here. Watch. Okay, that's a no-brainer. Out of the sea shall come fire and smoke and a devouring wind. Water as high as the walls of Jerusalem shall cover the city by the sea. That's a nuke and a tidal wave. Now behold the great wall, which holds back the abundance of the rivers. That's a dam, but it's deeper than that. There's a wall holding back the other side, like the pit. Behold the great wall, which holds back the abundance of the rivers, shall burst forth, bringing the hand of the oppressor against you. Maybe that's what some lunatics are thinking, getting confused about when the pit opens. When the pit opens, it doesn't matter what gun you have. If you think you can deal with the supernatural locust from the pit, and if you don't believe me, just go watch my videos where I showed you Dee Antwoord and Lady Gaga birthing a locust. What about Nibbles Woodaway, the big blue bug? It's Nibbles Woodaway because in Genesis 1, verse 27, let us create man in our image. The word man, let us create, is bara, to cut down a wood as a formative process. Okay, there's a $100 bill. Here we go. Bam. Okay, that's not a devouring wind, is it? Out of the sea shall come fire and smoke and a devouring wind? No. Okay, isn't it weird that I said the words before the bill ever came out? It's like, and what, do you think someone made a bill just because Johnny said it? No, it's because it's what's going to happen. And I'm heartbroken for everybody. See the missile going in the water? See the tail of the missile? See, there it goes. See the watermarks? Watch. There's the missile going in the water. Boom. All right, so that's kind of a no-brainer. All right, so now, yes or no? Did Jonathan Kleck just show you the old bombings that were on the U.S. currency? If you're law enforcement and you want to know whether or not it was Jonathan Kleck, go back to 2002, 2003. Clearapath.com. It was the site I put up the bombings on the money, the federal building bombing in the Pentagon and the Twin Towers. I put them up as far back as then. I was the first person doing this. And then the Lord showed me that it was a pattern. And all you had to do was make the sigil of Baphomet out of any bill. And you could see what was coming. Then you gave me a prophetic utterance. And the words that came out of my mouth matched the images on the new bills. So there it is. And apparently Gene Revel and company are all super upset that I have these abilities. So they do as many derogatory videos to try and incite violence, to try and send federal law enforcement to my house based on fraudulent claims, which is a crime. Like I said, Jim Hughes was doing what he was doing when I met him. Now, I think it's very critical to show you a couple more of these videos, but I want to show you this. I just want someone that has just pragmatic skills of just simple, basic understanding and logic to look at what you're looking at. Here's the old $20 bill right here. Here's the front, here's the back. Here's the federal building bombing on one side. On the other side is the federal building bombing, the building blown in half right here. There's the building blown in half with the floor sticking out. Okay, here's the newer $20 bill. Here's this bill. The back of this bill right here is different than the back of this bill right here. So this bill right here makes the Twin Tower bombing, and then on the back of this bill, there is the Pentagon. So you have the federal building bombing front and back, the building blown up, then the building blown in half. And on the new 20, you have the Twin Towers, and you have the Pentagon. You can match the buildings right here. I mean, look at this. Look at the sides of the Alfred P. Murrah building. Look at this. See that kind of rounded edge? Look at the rounded edge. Rounded edge. See the long rectangular windows? Long rectangular windows going. So it's a no-brainer. This has been done. Here's the $50 bill that's got the double line on the back. That makes the Hoover Dam with the water retainment. Here is the new $50 bill. See all the clouds right there? See those clouds? There's no clouds in this 50. In this 50, there's clouds. That's why this turns to water moving. You see that white right there? That's from the clouds. But when you play it in the 3 layers of ink on a video, it shows the movement of the water because of the clouds. The clouds become the water going over the dam. Pretty ingenious, but evil. Okay, and so on and so on. And then there's the $10 bill right here. I mean, this is a no-brainer. Look, that's not a tree. That's not a tree. That's a wave. That's not a tree. It's a wave. Here's the tidal wave coming over the building. Here's the new $100 bill. There's 3 layers of ink. Out of the sea shall come fire and smoke and a devouring wind. So I've just shown you all the bombings right here printed on U.S. currency notes. Now again, I want to go back to Gene Revel and the people following his channel. Their behavior is evil. It's dangerous. Yep. Maybe they should have some answers for whoever might need some answers. I'm giving the world answers that the world needs now because no one's going to know what to do with what's coming. You see this rounded corner right here of the building? See the rounded corner? See the rounded corner right here? There is the Alfred P. Murrah building, the side. This is the side of the building, the end of the building. There it is right there. When you turn this building over, you can see the floor sticking out. Here is the Twin Tower on the new 20. Look right here. There it is. Alfred P. Murrah, Twin Towers. Not arguable. So who's doing it? Satan. Through the host body. Like the movie Nefarious. What do you think? It's like, shit, this is serious. Yes, it's very, very, very serious. It's very serious stuff. Okay, let's see. Let's just go through this folder and we'll call it a night. Okay, let me show you who's doing it all. Okay, so there's all the bombings. Okay, there's the federal building. Who did it? This guy did it. Because when you go around the vertices, when you go around the perimeter of the bill and you connect all the vertices, you get the sigil of Baphomet. There is the federal building bombing blowing up, and there it is blown in half right here. There's the Twin Towers. There's the Pentagon. There's the Hoover Dam. There it is with water going over the top. There's the $10 bill with the tidal wave. There's a $100 bill. Who's doing it? Who's doing it? Who's doing it? Satan is doing it. Okay, now. Now, again, I love you in Christ. I love everybody in Christ, and I do. Even Karen and Kathy and Chuck and Jim. God have mercy on those guys, but enough is enough. You know, I have kids. I've had so many death threats, you know, incredible threats. I've had people showing up at my house, and I've had to live with the reality that, you know, my house could be a target at any given moment, any moment of the day. And that behavior of those guys on Gene Revel's channel, who's a total lunatic, and I'm going to have to go through whatever process to find out what his real name is. I'm going to go do whatever the necessary steps and find out what's going on. And if I have to go file whatever paperwork I have to do to find out, I'll do it. This has gotten to be ridiculous. Anyway, and anyone that condones his behavior and uses his behavior as a platform to write those kind of comments, that's got to be another felonious behavior. I'll probably be talking to someone about that. Okay, I love you guys in Christ. We should all be trying to help each other. Everyone should be looking to Christ, the author and the finisher of our faith, to see, the reality that the King is coming, just like in the days of Noah. He said he was going to come and judge the earth, and boy, did he do it. Here's the big blue bug, nibbles wood away. Nibbles wood away. Genesis 1, verse 27, let us create man in our image. Nibbles wood away. It's one man eating the other. It's Cain eating Abel, Cainable. And that means the energy inside of you. Okay, I'm going to end it on this. Genesis 1. Genesis 1. And Elohim created man in his own image, qualified to cut down a wood, to select as a formative process, cut down wood, bara, nibbles wood away, the serpent race, nibbling away the wood of the Adamic race, Cain eating Abel, Cainable inside of you. All right, guys. Let this stand as a record for the entire world for any news agencies. I've contacted other agencies. I've reached out to O'Keefe. I've reached out to several other platforms to show them the Vatican, the bombings on the money, the misbehavior of other people, and I will continue to do so. All right. All glory to the King. Please get right with Christ now. I'm asking you, I'm pleading with you. I don't want anyone to fall under the vengeance that's coming from the Lord God. That's why he gave me and insisted that I have a parachute that said V for Vengeance. And he had me show up at bizarre locations and do demo jumps as a way to draw attention to his coming. It's some of the craziest testimonies you'll ever hear. They are so miraculous. There's so many miracles that they're not even countable, the number of miracles that have happened since the Lord has employed me to do the things he's employed me to do. All right, now, tomorrow, which is today, because I stayed up so late, but I will be doing Job 25, and Job 25 is so profound. It proves the human host body system is attached to a worm in the pit, which is what I've been telling you. That's what the scriptures say. That's what the revelation of the information. I've got data a la data that proves it. All the data proves it. The Bible proves it. The Word of God absolutely proves it. And tomorrow I'm going to be laying all that out. But I wanted this video to go out immediately to stand as a public witness to the behavior of these other people. Okay. Love you in Christ.